have a hormone level equal to that or as close as we could get to an 18, 20-year-old. Because normal for your age is the road to decrepitude and death. So if you've got, let's say, a thyroid level that's normal for a 50, 60-year-old, that's substantially lower than what you had when you were 20. And when that happens, you're going to start gaining weight. You're going to start gaining yellow body fat. You're going to start losing muscle mass. A whole bunch of things are going to start happening.
Well, it's interesting. Dr. Ron's daughter had a problem with taste and smell, and she has a thyroid problem. And when I looked up on AI, it can affect the mucous membranes, and that will be an adverse effect with taste and smell.
Oh, it drives him up.
Yeah.
That goes along with the drying of the hair follicles and the drying of the skin that we see in low thyroid patients. Yeah. So yeah.
And it's more prevalent. I swear, I see so many underactive thyroid patients in my practice because the TSH test is not accurate, and they're missing the diagnosis, and these poor people are suffering with anxiety, depression, panic attacks, constipation. All the advertisements on TV are hypothyroid.
So somebody's making money off of it.
That's right.
Same as always. Someone's making money off of it. God help us all.
Follow the money.
Yeah, there's also a myth about eating high cholesterol foods is creating a problem. Can you comment on that?
Again, we make 60 to 70% of our own cholesterol.
Right.
Dietary cholesterol is a minimum cause for our total cholesterol. If we, as is evidenced by the drive to lower it below 100, because you can have all the low cholesterol diets you want. You can be adherent to it. You can take your polyunsaturated fats, not eat meat, not eat eggs, not eat dairy, eat mainly leafy greens and beans and whatever else, just like the vegans do, and still have a high cholesterol because of your liver. Now, having said that, we need to touch on the studies that shows, and all of the long-term health surveys, the ones that both of you have sent me this week, and the two that I am most familiar with, the Hawaiian Men's Health Survey and the Nurses Health Survey, with multiple thousands of test subjects over decades worth of the data. And in every instance, in every health survey, the lower your cholesterol, the faster you die. The lower your cholesterol, the faster you get dementia. Matter of fact, in the Hawaiian Men's Health Survey, the fat eaters and the coffee drinkers hardly ever got dementia. And if they did, it was 10 years after the non-meat eaters, the vegetarians, and the non-coffee drinkers got dementia. They were getting dementia in their 60s. The few of the meat eaters and coffee drinkers that got dementia didn't get it until their late 70s.
Yeah. Dr. Wong, could you comment on the fact I think the body does not have receptors to pick up cholesterol levels? Is that correct?
That I'm not familiar with.
Okay.
That I am not familiar with. I'm sorry. But having had a cousin with hyperlipidemia, I have to say there are some folks who have problems with cholesterol, but yet that cousin who had a 400, 500 level total cholesterol count lived to her 90s. So,
years ago, I worked with a dentist. His whole family had like 350 cholesterol levels, no heart attacks, no other symptoms. I mean, it's a scam. 300
change used to be the norm.
Right.
I remember when it went down to what, 245, 249 is what FDA wanted, and that was easy enough to do.
Didn't Harvard?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, didn't Harvard run a study and showed that the lower your cholesterol, the greater the chances of heart attack and death? The lower your levels.
I think that was the follow-up that Dr. Ron sent me on, excuse me, petting my dog. The follow-up that Dr. Ron sent me on the Framingham study, and they apparently, like 15, 20 years later, took a look at the data. It was the reverse of everything they were preaching about and talking about, and they promptly buried it.
Yeah, we never saw that. Never saw the real numbers when they reevaluated everything after 30 years.
Yeah.
Well, the key is nutritionally. What supplements have you found to lower cholesterol if needed?
My favorite is egg lecithin powder, which used to be as rare as rocking horse poop, but now has become much more available. It's much to be preferred over soy lecithin powder because because it's soy and soy is estrogenic, but two, they make it even more estrogenic because the soy lecithin granules are actually the powder mixed and blended in with soy oil, which I can't, the only thing more estrogenic than soy oil is flax. You could take birth control pills and not get as much estrogen as you will out of either soy or flax.
All right. How about your zymescence?
The zymescence and systemic enzymes have been shown to lower total cholesterol. There was a study by Mucos Pharma, a long-term study on HIV patients. There was a study out of India by Advanced Enzymes India on a patient group out of either Grant or Urala medical colleges. Grant is their Harvard in India. And they found that long-term systemic enzyme use lowers total cholesterol, not dramatically, but enough to make the numbers look better to the allopaths that are wanting low cholesterol now.
All right, so let's just take a patient who has had a so-called heart attack, a myocardial infarction. Their cholesterol is high, and the physicians are more prone to follow the guidelines rather than the science. And the person knows better and doesn't want to take the statin drugs. What would be your recommendations for this person?
1 tablespoon of egg lecithin powder 3 times a day, 2 zymescents 3 times a day, and actually, based on the University of Chicago Med School, they did studies back in the late 90s where they took MI heart attack patients and they injected them with testosterone. Typically, a heart attack patient has ischemic pain from lack of blood supply to their heart for 3 days to a week post a heart attack. The injection of testosterone being cardioprotective, actually cut the ischemia down immediately. Heart pain went away.
Incredible.
Don't know why that study wasn't promulgated more. Don't know why they haven't continued to do it, but it worked.
Well, it's interesting. The frequency of 528 increases testosterone production in the body.
Oh, cool. Oh, I'll start playing that on YouTube.
All right. So look, since we're about giving everybody all the information we can, so we want to treat our path to heart health, and how about reducing inflammation? I have down here, I made notes like cutting out the seed oils, the ultra processed foods, and sugar. Are we all in agreement with that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And eating real food, eggs, fish, meat, olive oil, avocados, vegetables. What do we think about that?
Exactly. Yes. We had data back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
No, all the increased fiber from the vegetables and fruits and all, that'll help lower cholesterol also.
Yes, we had data 20 years ago that the Mediterranean diet lowered cholesterol, even though it was high in oils. Well, gee,
Right.
wow.
But it wasn't ultra processed oxidized oil.
No, no, no. We all have to remember that there's more olive oil sold in the world than is made. And when you're looking for olive oil, what's the test? If you put it in the fridge and it doesn't gel up in the middle, then it's real olive oil. I think that's what it is. But in Spain, for example, a few years ago, there was someone super purified transmission fluid. When you super purify something to make it a pharmaceutical grade oil, it's got no smell, it's got no taste, it's got no DNA to tell where it came from. They made it smell and taste like olive oil. They wound up killing about 2,000 people.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Weren't they cutting olive oil with canola or something to save money?
Yes, lots of companies do that. And, I used to recommend one particular brand of olive oil. I won't mention the brand because the company has changed hands. I don't recommend them anymore. But, take a look at what you have to do to figure out whether the olive oil that you're getting is real or not. And a lot of it also has to do with price.
Well, also, when you look on the bottle, it should be made from one country source only. When they have multiple countries, it's usually bastardized.
From what I've been told, the Greek olive oil is best.
Right.
But I was told that 15, 20 years ago. I don't know if that's still true.
Right.
So, lower is not always better. Agreed?
No. Yes, exactly.
Cholesterol must be interpreted along with inflammation and metabolic health.
Right.
And
Yes.
Mark, the continued push for lower targets may reflect industry incentives more than patient outcomes. So what? Right?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that's where we are with medicine, marketing
Yeah.
versus medicine.
Right. I would love to see a study where they took low cholesterol patients and high cholesterol patients, and they did something like C-reactive protein and CRP test to test for their levels of inflammation, and see where each one is at. Because you know that the low cholesterol folks have higher levels of inflammation. And systemic inflammation is what actually kills us all because it builds up fibrosis in the internal organs. The internal organs shrink and diminish in function, and that's one of the things of planned obsolescence that helps to kill us.
Well, the big problem is if they advocate all this good stuff, the advertising budgets from the TV shows will go way down.
Then we won't have as many dang commercials to look at.
Well, I keep going back to that Framingham study because it really thinned the herd out by giving some really bad advice. And the Framingham, I read a quote here. It said, the Framingham flip shattered the cholesterol myth. After age 50, falling cholesterol did not save lives, but it predicted death. So
does that qualify as a malpractice suit for disseminating false information to the public?
Boy, what it did.
Harvard should be taken to task for the Framingham study, but look who promoted it. I mean, Big Pharma probably paid for that.
Right.
And then they kept on paying for that to lower the standard of what was good and normal. And it's all in the money.
Yeah, it really is. And it gets me upset that the cardiologists are just on the path of giving drugs and drugs and drugs based on numbers, not on science and not on examining their patient, which they are obligated to do no harm. All they know is get the prescription pad out, write a prescription, and if your number doesn't come down, they yell at you.
So
those are the guys who care more about their golf games than their patients.
Yeah. So the takeaway message is, if your doctor tells you to take statin drugs, you say no to drugs. You better leave that practice quickly.
Absolutely.
Walk out the door and find another doc.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people have to ask questions, and if you've learned anything on this discussion today, and is cholesterol, as Dr. Wong told us, it's in breast milk, for God's sake. Ask questions about your cholesterol, and if you're over 50, there's probably no reason for you at all ever to take any of these drugs, because the Framingham flip proved that there was no increased overall mortality either with high or low cholesterols. In fact, falling cholesterol levels were directly associated with a higher mortality. That's from JAMA.
Yes.
Gee, so right. And I know Dr. Wong is quite familiar with that.
You presented a piece of research that I'm looking for right now, and you said, and this is astounding, every 30 milligram per deciliter drop in cholesterol, numbers your doc would love to see if they turned up in your test, increases the risk of early death by 22%.
Wow.
Wow. When you sent me that, I was just astounded at that number.
Well, the interesting thing, was it the Price Pottinger Institute? They say the normal cholesterol is anywhere from 200 to 250, which coincides with your age plus whatever the cholesterol level is. It's just a big scam to scare the daylights out of people. That's all.
Yes.
Well,
exactly.
Yep. I like Dr. Jerry. Next time you're prescribed a statin, say no to drugs.
Right.
I had one too. The next time someone tells you your cholesterol's too high, ask them, too high for what? For drug sales or for my health?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, one more point I want to make. This used to be taught in school, hasn't been in decades. Under 180, you usually don't make any hormones. So they're not only trying to increase the death rate, they're not only trying to increase the number of customers, i.e. patients they have, they're also promoting infertility.
So it'll make you into a eunuch if it's down below 200, right?
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
I was a 1990 naturopathic convention in Phoenix. I was bragging to a doc that my total cholesterol was 160 something. And he said, "So how's your sex life?" And I went, "Huh? How's your sex life?" He said. I thought about it. Yeah, I got a pretty wife and I got a few kids, but lately, yeah, okay. I can go to a monastery. So yeah, he was absolutely right. Instead of eating the beans and leafy greens and stuff at the convention, I went off and had a bacon cheeseburger at Fuddruckers.
Start eating roadkill again.
Well, this really goes into something Dr. Jerry and I talked about, how people are aging faster.
Mm-hmm.
And we really want to do a podcast and really dig deep into that subject. But, probably cholesterol would have come up, but, it's definitely going to be on the table for that discussion. Right, Dr. Jerry?
Yeah.
100%. The problem is all our health ills are traced back to poor quality of the food.
Yeah.
That's it. It's too simple. You can have $10 trillion for your health industry. It's not going to solve any problems. It'll make it worse.
Let's add one thing to that advanced aging. Think about all the xenoestrogens and all the phytoestrogens. Think about the fact that since the birth control pill started being used, we've confirmed that estrogen promotes visceral inflammation and fibrosis, causes blood clots, causes MIs, causes strokes, causes all sorts of stuff. So we've increased the estrogen in the environment. We've increased the estrogen in food. We've forcibly decreased via diet and drugs the production of progesterone and testosterone. We've increased the amount of when estrogen goes up, prolactin goes up in both guys and gals, even if the gals haven't breastfed. Prolactin is an antagonist to dopamine. Dopamine is what connects brain to body. When you make your last drop of dopamine, you're dead in 4 days. So all of that going on has increased aging to the point where Coach Polkman said 31 is the new 50.
Yeah. Well, in my practice, I advocate using aspirin, a 500 milligram tablet is the best birth control. And they say, how does that work? I said, you keep it between your knees.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
Works
wonderful.
every time, and no side effects.
Well, I think we really brought some interesting topics to the table today. And again, work with your doctor, but he's not a god. He may be making some money. I happen to accompany a woman to a cardiac examination, and the physician was just upset with her LDL levels and recommended a product called Leqvio. And when I got into this and looked at all the studies, 99% of the researchers either owned the stock or worked for the company that made it. And the only thing they were testing for with this drug was a lower LDL. They did not associate it with longer life or less heart attacks or anything else. And the thing has to be given by injection at an infusion center.
Ooh. Money.
Yeah.
Follow the money. I mean, it's really sad what's happening with these. And I learned a new set of letters, COI, conflict of interest. And this thing had COIs out the gazoo.
Yeah.
Well, isn't the LDLs the transporter for chemicals in the body?
Well, it transports the cholesterol and toxins around the body. It sure does.
And protein.
So
Yeah.
the more toxic,
What,
the higher your LDLs are going to be.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why we try and talk about getting to the root cause. What's causing the cholesterol to be high? Just cholesterol is not a disease.
Exactly.
So even a dog
Exactly.
do us.
I think the UPS guy's coming up, so the dogs are going to be barking.
Well, Dr. Jerry, do you have anything else for Dr. Wong? I mean, I think we're bringing light, and that's the whole purpose of this live stream. Bring subjects to light that other physicians are afraid to talk about.
Well,
And
as you always say, you have to be the CEO of your health. You have to spend a little time, do a little research to educate yourself before you acquiesce to what the great white gods tell us.
Yeah. We shouldn't see docs as the Pope, as God, as Gabriel, the messenger angels, or anybody else. We should see them as human beings, and we should see them for what they do. I know a good many cardiologists who have their patients on some really good stuff, including my enzymes. There are good docs out there, but unfortunately, the majority of them are not. They go to med school for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, and they're 20 years behind the literature, at least.
Yes. I keep on telling folks that veterinary medicine is 30 years ahead of human medicine. The stuff that they're using now in some parts of veterinary medicine won't come into human use for 30 years. And when they do, like ivermectin, they'll face an awful lot of resistance because they do an awful lot of good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the Real Health Rebellion Radio with Dr. Jerry and myself, Dr. Ron, and our always present Dr. Will Wong. He's really always adds to the discussion. And I want you to, my take on today is cholesterol derangement syndrome is not a disease. It's a marketing invention. If you've been labeled with it, now you know you deserve the truth.
Yep.
So we're not going
If
to.
you're labeled with it, be proud because you're making hormones. Your brain won't
Yeah.
go, south on you. Your nerves will work. Your liver will work, and you'll live longer, and you'll be able to go to all the people who told you to take anti-cholesterol drugs.
Well, my father lived to 102. My mom lived to 100. Their
Cool.
cholesterols were over 300. I'll just say that much. And Pop was climbing ladders at 102.
God bless him.
So, and I think it just, it goes, it really, I don't like to talk about it because there's only two individuals in a good family gene pool. But the more I talk to people that are centenarians, the more I hear about high cholesterol levels. So it's nothing to be afraid of.
Yep.
Fear can kill you more than the cholesterol.
Yep. We have to remember the famous Dr. DeBakey, the cardiac surgeon, the cardiologist. He was asked what he had for breakfast. He says, I have two breakfasts. I have bacon and eggs and sausage and eggs. Wow.
Good quality fat, right?
Exactly.
It really is. Dr. Wong, thanks for being here today. We appreciate
Thank you for having me on board.
And we're going to have Professor Brian Peskin next week to talk about adulterated seed oils and what they have done. he made a famous quote in my mind. He said, "Fish oils are only antifreeze for deep water fish. Once they come up to the surface, they are adulterated already."
Yeah, he says it's antifreeze. It's antifreeze for the
antifreeze for deep water fish. So we'll give Dr. Wong a break next week. We'll have Brian Peskin on. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. Have a great, blessed day. Pray for the people in Jamaica that are getting pounded with this Category 5 hurricane. And remember to have an attitude of gratitude. We're going to close out now.
God bless you all, folks.
Hey, everybody, Dr. Ron's finished for today. I hope you got some good wisdom for what the man had to say. If it's all about good health, he's the man you got to see. He has a lot more answers for you. So tune in next week when the doctor is in the house, or when the doctor is